This is a case study about Lululemon by Hope Keeler. Sweat often, smile always. Lululemon was founded by Chip Wilson in Vancouver, Canada in 1998. It was a yoga-inspired athletic apparel for women originally. Their vision was to create more than a place where people could just get their sweat gear. They wanted to create a hub for the community to learn and discuss physical aspects of healthy living. So they opened a store that was a design studio by day and a yoga studio by night. The original designs were made for women to wear during yoga sessions. After receiving many forms of feedback from the community, they went ahead and made a men's line also. They set out to give people the tools they needed to conquer their goals in life. Below you will see an example of the 5-force model of competition for the companies that design and market performance-based yoga and fitness apparel. The portion of the larger performance sports apparel arena where Lululemon competes. Levels of competition, medium to strong force, and Lululemon is becoming stronger and stronger as the time goes by. Lululemon has the competitive advantage over its rivals in the terms of the quality of their product, the design style, fashion, performance matrix, comfort in wearing them, varieties, models and product line, depth, the width of the product, horizontal and vertical product lines, brand positioning, and the image name with reputed fame. They also get stronger by the means of highlighting the differences between one line of branded products from another line, appropriate matching between the supply and market demand for performance-based apparel and fitness clothing by Lululemon. Porter's 5-force analysis. There's the power of the supplier. When the supplier adjusts their prices, this causes us as the business to have to adjust prices also, which means everyone using that supplier, they're kind of in the same competitive grouping, but if there's somebody using a supplier that's lesser and they can get their materials for less, then they're obviously going to advance into the field further than Lululemon can. The second is the power of the buyer. Whether the buyer is a customer or consumer can bring the price down is determined by the qualifications of this power. Similar to the number of suppliers, as a supplier, when we have less buyers, then we are focused by their choice of reducing the price, rather than when we have a large pool of buyers, then when the buyer reduces the price as a supplier, we can resort to other buyers then. There's the rivalry of competition. So how many rivals we have, what our rivals are capable of doing, can they offer the products and services that we can offer? If so, then we may lose our base of suppliers and buyers. But if we have some exclusive products that nobody else can offer, then we can stand out and have this advantage over everybody else. Threats faced due to substitution of products. Tea can substitute for coffee. Lamb can substitute for chicken. When the rivals of Lululemon can introduce apparel that can substitute for Lululemon's merchandise, then they are threatened, possibly threatened. Threats can come from Target, Kohl's Meyer, David Jones, and other merchandise suppliers. Threats from new entrants into the market. Any new company that starts up, it has young players that are entering the apparel industry, and they can pose threats to Lululemon because Lululemon doesn't know what their strategies are going to be. So how are they going to stand out from those new entering companies? Strategic group map. Given the evidence above, it is clear that Lululemon is well positioned in the market. If you see, Lululemon is here at the top above Athletica, Prana, New Balance, Under Armour, Nike, they're in a whole different spectrum. They're just as high as Lululemon, and they have a broader customer base, but they don't have the customer base that Lululemon is hitting currently. Key success factors. Lululemon's key success factors are the quality of the materials they are using. They're going to last for many years. They also have an attractive design, style, and fashion. Their attractive design makes them desired by most people in the fitness field. Most athletes want to use their apparel because it has been shown to make you look thinner, lift your butt, and make you stand out among the other athletes. They also have competitive pricing. They are priced competitively with Under Armour and Nike. My SWOT analysis of Lululemon. Their strengths are their elegant design and their style. Their weakness is they don't have a ton of variety compared to Under Armour and Nike. Their opportunity, they have a wide range of market segments that they could still reach into. Their threats are new entrants and substitute products. The four primary value chain components that stand out are the product's design and styling, the supply chain management, handling the outsourcing of production to contract manufacturers and arrange for timely, frequent deliveries to finished goods, retail store and showroom operations, marketing and brand building, including recruiting ambassadors, having free yoga classes in stores, their growth strategy. Lululemon is all about empowering the people to reach their full potential through providing them with the tools to do so. They may have hurt their growth in the past few years, though, by making statements that women should be a size 8. They also do not carry a plus line. These are things that most other competitors do provide. Therefore, Lululemon is constantly bashed for body shaming women, which I will agree with. If you want people to believe that you are empowering them and making them better, then why set the limits? Oh, we are only going to empower women who are size 2 to 12. This is going to be your biggest battle, Lululemon. Competitive strategy. Lululemon's strategy most closely approximates with focused differential strategy. However, the company's strategy to move to a broader product line signals that over the long term, the company may transition to a broad differentiation strategy. Lululemon has had a tough go, I would say, from year 2013 to 2014. Net income as percentage of sales has dropped from 22.8% to 15.6%. Return on assets declined from 25.8 in 2013 to 22.4 in 2014. Operating returns on assets declined from 35.8 in 2013 to 31.3 in 2014. Total assets turnover dropped slightly between year 2013 and 2014 from 1.3 to 1.27, reflective of declining revenue growth in relation to the numbers of new outlets they had opened that year. Inventory turnover declined slightly from 4.04 to 3.91. Some stores' sales dropped from 5.83 million to 5.44 million. With financial analysis indicating a serious negative trend, Lululemon is growing profitable in business. 1 year's results do not necessarily indicate an overage of negative trend. Free cash flow continued to be robust. Free cash flow appears to be significant to fund future expansions. And Lululemon appears to have an adequate debt capacity to aid future expansion. The top issues I would like to indicate are the quality of maintenance of goods is known for its premium goods. The CEO is meant to keep focusing on the quality so that the trend goes on. Global expansion. The company is on its progress in terms of venturing into the global market. But this is another point of focus, as the new CEO should ensure that the proper plans are carefully implemented to make sure this expansion goes through. Customer relations. The company reports that it has jeopardized its relationship with the customers over the last year following the issues of quality of its products. This is a thing that the new CEO needs to focus on so that it can restore the glory of the company to its customers. It also needs to focus on getting that image back that you don't have to be a size 2 to buy these products. Deal with the supply chain problem. The company is said to be experiencing some supply chain problems that the new CEO seeks to address. He is supposed to deal with the supply chain problems that caused the company multi-million-dollar recall, fend off tough competitors in the environment, and shore up its reputation. I believe the limit on sizing and the CEO bashing women who aren't a size 8 is going to be their biggest downfall. How can you promote a company and say that it is meant to better people and then basically say women who are bigger than what you sell clothes for are obese? The image is being wrecked because of these comments. That may seem tiny to you, but mean a lot to the girl who's a size 14 who works her butt off in the gym daily. She just wasn't lucky enough to be that size 8 and under woman. And this is something Lululemon needs to get through their head, to focus on all women and not just the women they think are important.